Are you the parent or carer of a baby, toddler or very young child? And are you worried that your child may be different in some way to other children, but you're not quite sure what the problem is or who to talk to about it? Maybe they are not talking or playing with other children as much as you'd expect, or you worry that their behaviour is a little unusual. Have you been told recently that your child may have a delay in their development, maybe in their language or learning, or in their physical skills? Perhaps you are the parent or carer of a child who was born with a disability or complex physical, medical or general need. If so, then this DVD and booklet may be of help to you. It has been made by Trafford parents and staff to show other parents and carers how to get help from council services. There are many different services and people you may meet if your child has a developmental delay or disability, and at times it can be very confusing. Hopefully we can help. Many of these Trafford services are now being brought together into a single multi-agency service for children with complex and additional needs. This will make getting involved with services easier and will mean that people work together better to help meet your child's needs. On the DVD, a group of parents talk about their experiences in coming to terms with their children's difficulties and in using the Trafford services available to them. They want you to remember, just like them, it's never wrong to ask for help for your child and to just keep asking. They talk about how hard it can be when you realise that your child has a problem. You may feel lonely and isolated. You may blame yourself and you are just not sure what to do about it. Finding your way around the many different services can be confusing at first, but it is worth it in the end, and things can really get better for you, your child and your family. If you want to find out more about the range of services Trafford provides, please phone the Children's and Young People's Information Service on 0161 912 1053. If you do not speak English, they can organise an interpreter for you. I'll now leave you to watch the rest of the film, and don't forget, if you do need help, please contact us.
I'm Georgina Redfern, and my little boy's called Dylan Redfern and he's 3 years old. He's got ASD, which is autistic spectrum disorder. It's basically a social communication problem and a development delay. He also has quite bad behaviour at times, which is part of it as well. Dylan was my first child, my only child, so I was a bit clueless at first, but as a parent you know what's not right, and I always sort of knew with Dylan that he had some sort of problems. Took him to the doctors 3 or 4 times, and first I was told it was because he was premature, then it was because it was a boy. It's your first child, you don't really know what you're doing, and I even had a doctor basically tell me he was just very naughty and to just feed him more basically. I'd never heard of Sure Start before. I took him along to the group, which was a chatterbox group to help develop the language, and another lady there actually picked up on what I was saying about Dylan. She took the time to listen and to see herself. And after that, before I'd even got home that day, she'd run my health visitor, and then my health visitor made an appointment to come and give Dylan a development check. And then from that point on, obviously they listened. It was pretty clear to see for them once it had been brought to their attention. He was with Ted's at first, which they came out and did one-on-one because Dylan needed to be taught how to play with toys. He just had no interest, he would just sit in the corner. And he was introduced to SENIS, which is special education needs, and they basically helped me come to the right decision for Dylan on which school would be the best placement for Dylan and his development. He's got a speech and language therapist, and he goes to a group every Monday, and he loves it. It's the same children that he knows. And we have done a lot of courses through Sure Start as well. I did an early birds course, which was basically all about autism, which I found really interesting and extremely helpful. You need to keep fighting for the help, because early intervention is the best thing possible for a child with special needs. And my little boy, since he's been getting the help, is just a completely different little boy now. It's clear to see that's what he needed. You're with your child 24 hours every day, and no one knows your child better than you do.
My name's Wendy Walsh and I've got 2 boys, Robert and George. Robert's 7 and George is 5. Robert was diagnosed last year with severe autism. He also has dyspraxia and he has lower limb muscle tone. He was very angry. He went through a period very, very angry and beating kind of me up and his little brother up and stuff, but with the help of Jackie from the early intervention team and school, we've kind of brought him on, and he's a completely different character now, and it's really, really changing for the better. The incredible years I had on a one-to-one because I couldn't attend the group sessions, it doesn't only look at Robert, it looks at George and looks at us as well. If you get in touch with the right people, it proves that it does work and things do get done. It's just finding a way of getting in touch with the right people. It's had a big impact on mine and Dave's relationship because, you're a couple again, you're a family again, whereas before, the stress of it all, you were constantly arguing and bickering, and it's just brought the whole family back together and functioning as a family.
My name's Kathy, I'm married to Alan. We have 2 beautiful little daughters. One's 5, one's just coming up to 2.5. Our youngest daughter Laura was born with Down syndrome. Since Laura's turned 2, she's received help from the Trafford Education Senas team. We found this very useful. What has impressed us about the service from Senas is the relationship between Senas and speech and language. We have speech and language communication goals. For example, at the moment we're helping Laura put 2 words and 2 signs together, and so whilst we have goals for speech and language, this is backed up completely by the education approach. Another thing which has given us confidence in Laura attending mainstream school has been to see the education team using some of the resources from the Down Syndrome Education Association. We've been on a sign-along sign language course which has really benefited ourselves in helping Laura to sign. Laura has lots of signs and it does help to reduce frustration. Basically she can ask for anything that she wants. There is really good help out there in Trafford, but sometimes you do have to ask.
My name is Salma.
And my name is Salim, and I was on Hamad, who goes to Wellfield School, and we have one other child, Mohammed Zed.
Although Hamad doesn't have a diagnosis, he's been described as having social, communication and emotional difficulties. He has particular habits and interests which make him different from all the other children. However, he does things that other children do as well.
When he was 2 years old, we noticed that he was a little bit different. We knew that there was something wrong, but we couldn't actually figure out that what was wrong with him.
An educational psychologist came and assessed him at the nursery, who recommended that he would benefit from attending a small specialist class which had all the facilities that were specific to meet Hamad's needs. Since September 2008, Hamad's been attending Wellfield Infant and Nursery School in Sale, and from that time to now he's made a dramatic progress. He's changed as a person. He's able to express himself. He's not frustrated anymore. He's able to speak. He knows the alphabet. He knows numbers. He's able to do a lot more things that all the other children do, and we're able to live a normal as we can life, bearing in mind that he does have difficulties that do set us back and set him back. I suppose when we had to decide, should we send him to Wellfield, which is a few miles away, or should we send him to Seymour Park, where he'll be closer to home, with his brother, in our comfort zone. And you know, it shouldn't have been a difficult decision, but for us, at first we were making it into a really difficult decision, because we just couldn't bear the thought of him having to attend a specialist provision. We just thought, gosh, why? You know, how are we going to cope with this, and how are we going to tell everybody? Which shouldn't come into your mind. Those sort of thoughts did. And to be honest with you, once we'd seen the school, we'd met the teaching staff, we'd seen the sort of experience and the results that they produce, we didn't look back. We just carried on streaming ahead.
We saw the progress was made sort of within a week, really, because Hamad used to wear nappies, and we actually tried to get him out of his nappies, and Wellfield just waved their magic wand, and within a week he was out of nappy.
And today the results speak for themselves, because Hamad is, you know, the most energetic and delightful boy, and you know, he's been transformed.
I think I would have given up, but my wife is such a strong character that she refused to sit down and
just accept that. You know, it was just frustration. Oh, he's a boy. Oh, the lazy. All of these comments kept being made, and as his mum, I just knew.
We have between 4 and 6 children in the morning, and in the evening between 3 and 7. Lily comes to us 3 times a week. And for Lily in particular, it's not just a question of preparing the food for her, but we also have to do a couple of other things as well. Like she has her own special feed, which I do through a tube, but that's half an hour after the main meal. Well, the adaptations tend to be more how we behave. Okay. We put extra stair gates on because she does like to go up and down the stairs. We've modified the outside particularly because although she is running around, her mobility is starting to fade, and she will be going to a wheelchair in the not too distant future. So we've made everything wheelchair friendly. You have to be more aware of what they're doing, where they are, even if she tumbles over. You know, because she has various medical things attached to her body for accessing medicine and for putting food in. You've got to be particularly careful when she's out and about outside. Mustn't stop her. I mean, she was just climbing a tree there a minute ago, and she's on scooters now. So it's just a question of being aware and making sure that any obvious dangers are out of the way.
So my advice for any parents would be to visit the settings and meet the childminders. Have an honest discussion about what the needs of their child are, and therefore the needs will be able to be met by the childminder, because it could be that the childminder might need to do lots of training or even change a few things in the setting. Well, there was other training where I actually went to an inclusion-friendly stamp, which were very important training, very important, because when I realized that my setting wasn't right for special needs, really, in terms of physical access. So once I've done this training, I looked at the setting very critically, and we decided to change completely the setting. We designed some path for access into the gardens. And really, we decided to put a ramp for the, from the gate, and to build some toilets as well for children with disabilities with wider doors. Yes, I think she enjoyed very much being with children who haven't got any special additional needs, and therefore she plays with them very happily. So it is very beneficial for Lily and for the other children as well, because disabilities are no obstacle at all.
So looking at childminders, get your inclusion officer to help you. Social workers, if there's one involved, again, get them involved and get them talking. And if there's any other special care people like speech therapists or physiotherapists, again, get them involved, get them to talk to the childminder, get them to come and look at the premises as well. So it's all about teamwork, really. The more information and additional help you can get, the better.
My name's Cheryl and I'm 12 years old and I'm Chaz's big sister. Like other people, little children will speak when they're about 2, but he started when he was a bit older, so that was a bit worrying. But sometimes he has difficulty explaining himself and asking questions and answering them, so we can't make a full speech without having help. Yeah, he seems very happy at Pixar because he goes to school with a smile on his face, and even though he comes back tired, after he talks about how his day was at school, and it always sounds really fun, and we get feedback from his school as well. It's made a big improvement on his speech and just simple ways of life. He does more things better now. I wish for him to get a good job and to have a happy life. My advice be for that person who's looking after that child is to get help and don't be afraid of asking questions, and just tell the person that your child is in need. I'd like to thank everyone who's helped my little brother improve in whatever he needs to be improved. Thank you.